Happy to be here. Bitcoin, not crypto. That's the lesson. I think this week highlights the contrast between the virtues of Bitcoin and the vices of crypto. And it illustrates the wisdom of Satoshi. So if we go back to first principles, the entire Bitcoin movement got started because of a loss of faith in the currency and a loss of faith in banks. And so this has gone on since time immemorial. Banking crisis that froze customers' funds and currency crisis that collapsed their purchasing power. And Bitcoin was created as a currency that couldn't be debased, running on an open network so you could be your own bank. And the principle is, if you're your own bank and no one has discretion to debase the currency, then you're not going to wake up one morning and find out that your funds have been seized and they've been devalued to zero. Crypto and the entire movement is almost like the reinvention of fiat currency and fractional reserve banking. But instead of it being in a regulated environment, it's just in an unregulated environment. So ironically, we saw the same human behaviors here. A human being creates a wildcat bank, unregulated. Then a human being creates their own currency, like the FTT token. Then they issue a bunch of it. Then they start to leverage it and borrow against it. And then at some point, they start to misuse the funds of their customers in their bank, and they use it to prop up their currency. Eventually, the currency collapses, the bank freezes its assets. People who had trusted the bank lose their assets. People who had trusted the currency lose their purchasing power. And so this is a teachable moment, because the solution is don't put your value in currencies that are controlled by human beings. You can't trust the CEO, you can't trust a company, and you can't trust a custodian. And if there's a counterparty, it's credit, it's not money. And Bitcoin is nobody's liability. There is no counterparty. Anyone that joins the network is their own banker. The reason it's money is because no human being or no organization has discretion over it. So, and if anything, all of the Bitcoin memes have come back to life. Not your keys, not your coins. It's constant. And don't trust, verify. And it's sad to say that this is an incredibly expensive lesson in basic fundamentals of monetary theory and banking, and a principled way forward with your investment. I think he got caught up in this entire crypto wave, and it was much bigger than him, and everything happened very, very fast. And in this particular case, it's still not even clear to him what happened. He'll probably register this or figure out what happened some number of years afterwards. So I think the humility of Satoshi is the observation that no one can carry the burden of that trust. Satoshi can't. No company, no board of directors, no government, no political process. At the point that you conclude that no one has the strength of character and wisdom and commitment to carry the burden of a billion people's money, then you realize that the solution is put the control of that into the hands of nature. Submit yourself to nature's laws and to the laws of mathematics. And then put it into the hands of a software that's not just a software program running on a machine, but a software protocol running on millions of machines. And so if you can create a fair, equitable, trustworthy, rational software protocol, if you can release it as a virus to millions of machines and hundreds of millions of people, you have a chance. You have an opportunity. It may work. And Bitcoin is the first example of a successful monetary protocol that was released. And in the first year or 2 or 3 years, it could have been smashed out of existence or could have failed. And now we're fortunate enough to actually see that it has grown to maturity and it is working. And it is the best choice in this crypto carnage. And for those who have clear vision and they can see through the sound and the fury and the chaos, they'll see that Satoshi was wiser than they realized. Satoshi said something, very seminal at the very beginning of this entire movement. The root cause of all these collapses is the trust that is required, and that trust has been betrayed over and over and over again. The FTX collapse isn't the first collapse of a bank. It won't be the last collapse of the bank. And until human beings develop the humility to realize that trusting the bank and trusting a fiat currency was the mistake in the first place, then they won't transcend and evolve beyond this situation.